Well, have you ever tried the mountain test before buying any product? You think to yourself that if the product is worth carrying up a mountain on your back without any hassle, then only you buy it. If it's not, then you don't buy it. So if you're a beginner trying to embark upon a simple, intentional, minimalist lifestyle, trying to curb consumption and remove the clutter in your life, then you are in the right video. Assalamu alaikum and a big hello everyone. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Razia, and in this video today, I'm going to take you through 10 simple mindful tips which I took towards my minimalism journey, and how I wished I knew these mindful tips when I was in my 20s, when I was doing my studies or starting my professional career. A few months back, I chanced to watch this very interesting short video on YouTube by Nas Daily with the title, Why I Don't Buy Things. The title in itself seemed so inviting, so I watched this video. It is a very profound message which says that the fewer objects we have in our lives, the closer we will be to reaching the peak of freedom. And thanks to Nas Daily, this video in particular brought a 180-degree shift in my life. It just made me pause and reflect upon myself. I used to be a spendthrift. I used to be such an impulsive buyer, and I used to hoard so many things in my house and in my life. And then it made me realize, is it worth it? And that is how my journey to minimalism started. I intentionally started to simplify my life and focus on what is really important. Or better said, living on the principle of less is more. And then I realized that minimalism is not about depriving yourself from things. It's about eliminating the excess in your life and focusing on the fundamentals. It's about what you value the most in your life. It's basically what we prioritize in our lives, making memories, experiences, or focusing upon the material things. And I'm sure by the end of this video, you will be able to take at least 2 to 3 simple steps that will resonate best with you. Start small. How do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. And I'm sure once you gain momentum, you will love to stick around this beautiful concept. And that's the beauty of minimalism. It doesn't have any guidelines, any deadlines, or any rules. It's just between you and what matters to you the most. And the number one step is know your why. And I believe this is the most important step when you start your minimalism journey. When I started my journey, I identified my deep why. I identified my purpose, my intention, and my reason of leading a minimalist life. And I made sure that I was just not drawn towards minimalism or just attracted towards it because it's such a trending concept. It's becoming so popular these days. I made sure that I gained more insights into it. I watched documentaries, I watched YouTube videos, I tried to read books, and I got to read the bestseller book from Marie Kondo on the life-changing magic of tidying up, the Japanese art of decluttering and organizing. And these things really made me pause and think. Is it all about a 9-to-5 job, earning a lucrative salary and spending the same on maintaining a high-end lifestyle? So minimalism is not about impressing others. It's solely our decision. It's not about comparing ourselves to others or even judging others because they are not being a minimalist and they're spending so much. It's not about comparison. It's a choice. We should feel happy and contented about it. And when we are happy, we have identified our deep why, then hows and whats of minimalism becomes so easy to follow. Number 2, curb your consumption. Well, consumption is inevitable. We are living beings and we need to consume things to survive. But we can be more mindful of what we are consuming. And that's what I did in my minimalist journey. I became more mindful on how and when and what I'm spending upon. So I adopted a few ground rules. So I identified my trigger. Whatever tempted me to buy more, I just stopped looking towards it. For example, Instagram always tempted me to buy things or do impulsive shopping. So I just went on a social detox for 30 days. And honestly speaking, temptations bring us to square one. All our minimalist efforts go into waste. So identify your trigger points, and whatever tempts you to go for a shopping, an impulsive one, just avoid those things intentionally. I also followed the 30 by 30 rule. If anything costs more than 30 dirhams, I will wait for 30 hours before I make a decision to purchase it. This gave me ample time to reflect if I really need that thing in my life, if that thing is so important to carry on my survival. And quite interestingly, I became aware about the de-duro effect. One more thing I started to apply to curb my consumption was out with the old, in with the new. So anything which I bring new in the house has to be replaced with something that has to go out of the house. And another thing to curb overconsumption, I placed quality over quantity. So I would buy fewer products with higher quality rather than many products with lower quality. So this is how I curbed my consumption, and I really feel so happy about it. Small changes, but making significant impact in my life. And the third important thing which I started doing was preparing a monthly budget planner. I started to intentionally write down all my expenditures in this Excel sheet. This made me realize that at the end of the month, how much I was actually spending on essential items and how much I was actually spending on non-essential items. And this made me reflect and realize that there were so many items in the house I had bought just for my instant happiness, momentary happiness, which were there in my house, gathering dust now, and which really did not add a significant amount of difference, or which did not really add much value in my life. And that was one of the key realizations in my minimalism journey. And the fourth important point, plan your meals. And trust me, this was such a time savior. I started to prepare the meal plan at the beginning of every week, taking the choices from my family, what was their favorite food or what they wanted to eat during the week. This really helped me to do my grocery shopping well in advance, and saving so much of my time into unnecessarily thinking and guessing what my family would have for breakfast, for lunch and dinner. And trust me, this was one of the most effective measures towards my minimalism journey, because it saved a lot of my time rushing for the errands day in and day out. And this saved my efforts for going for unplanned grocery shopping. And the most important thing is that my family enjoyed their favorite food being cooked on different days. So it was definitely one of the most effective steps. And now coming to the fifth point, which was definitely a new learning for me, a new method, which I really value the most, is the KonMari method, which I learned from Marie Kondo. This is basically the art of tidying up, decluttering, minimizing and organizing things in your house. So we basically start with the clothes, which is easy to declutter, and then gradually we move on to sentimental items, which is definitely a challenging part to declutter. And one of the important concepts of the KonMari method is that we should tidy by category and not by location. So if we want to organize our clothes, we should get the clothes from all the rooms into one place. If we want to declutter all the books in our house, we should get all the books from all the rooms in one place, and then we should start to clean up and organize and declutter. So the formula which I applied when I started tidying up was, I started with my clothes category, and then the second category was books. Then I came to receipts, bills, documents and the stationery supplies. Then I came to general household items. Then I included the kitchen items. One day I had put for tidying up my car. Then I moved on to the final and the most challenging part, that is the sentimental items. And this, I believe, is the hardest one to declutter and organize. And it includes the gifts from your loved ones, the souvenirs which we collect from travels. So this was one of the lovely ways of decluttering, organizing and tidying up your house. The next important point is give everything a home. This means every item in the house should be having a designated spot to rest when it's not in use. So the aim of storage is that every item should be having a small home in your bigger space. This gives your shelves a more organized and simple look, and this gives you a fair idea of what you are using and what you are not using actually, and the things which can be discarded and decluttered. Next important point is make quarantine bins. So when I started on my minimalism journey, I decluttered a lot of stuff from my house, and I segregated them into 3 separate containers. The first one was for if I could sell that item and get some money out of it. The second container was for donation, if I could donate it to somebody else who could utilize that product. And then the third one was just in case. So if I felt that I may need this item in near future, I would keep that in that container, which I call just in case. So for these just in case items, I would keep them for 6 months, and if I did not use them in the next 6 months, that means those things are not meaningful to me, those things are not really adding any value to my life, and then I would just donate them. So this was really an effective technique to declutter my things of so many excesses in the house. The next important point, which I believe all of you will be able to relate to it as well, is organize your digital clutter. For me, I used to have so many videos, so many photos, so many documents in my mobile phone. And when I went and started my minimalism journey, I started to slowly segregate and delete those photos which I really did not need, those videos which were just short but really did not add any value to my life. So I went on this digital declutter drive, and trust me, it gave me so much of fulfillment, so much of happiness. Learn to be grateful. When we keep on running for the fanciest, the latest, the trendiest, this sparks stress and depression in us. But when we are complacent and when we are satisfied with all what we have, that sparks the joy in us. That sparks the contentment and fulfillment in us. That is the basic crux of a happy, simple, fulfilled, and an intentional life. And last but not least, which I believe is the most important, is your mindset minimalism. And everything is important. We need to minimize the physical possessions of our life. But when there is too much of noise in our mind, then the minimalist journey is of no use. So we always need to have a mental declutter process. We should relax, go on some vacations, write down things when we are feeling too heavy, and just keep ourselves away from the negative emotions in our life. So mindset minimalism is of utmost importance in our life, to keep ourselves in that positive flow, to keep ourselves organized, to keep ourselves, motivated to do things which really spark joy and add value in our lives. So this is it in today's video. I really hope you like the 10 steps of my minimalism journey, and in the comment box below, do let me know your most favorite step. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate that. And you know the drill. You have to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, because it really motivates me always to bring more and more meaningful content for all of you. So I'll see you soon in my next video. Till then, you have to take care, stay safe, keep smiling. Ciao.